Hi, good morning. My name is Victor. Welcome to Down Yoga. Jovan will be here helping with demo all the poses today. And get ready on your mat. Have a uh, bottle of water if you need next to your mat. We'll start today laying down our back in Shavasana. Allow your eyes to close. And let the feet roll open to the sides. No tension on the legs, on the arms, shoulders. Soften. Gradually allow the breath to flow slower, deeper through the back of the throat. Notice how the energy coming in flows through the entire body. You can create that soft sound by slightly blocking the passage of the air on the back of your throat for Ujjayi Pranayama. And try to have the same length on your inhale and exhale for Samavriti. Keep connected to the sound of the breath. That helps you to keep your mind clear and calm. Find stillness not only on the body but also in the mind. Try to keep the motion with the breath through the rest of the class. Whenever you notice your breath's not even anymore, you can always take a break, take a pause, get your attention and your mind back to the breath and to what your body's doing. And slowly bring the legs close together. You can flex your feet. Take a deep inhale, reach your hands up to the ceiling. And with your exhale, bring your knees into your chest, hug your knees in. Round your back, maybe bring the forehead towards your knees. Squeeze it in. Now hold your right knee, place the sole of your left foot on the floor, and interlace your fingers behind your right thigh. Yes, and you can either keep lower the shoulders and the head down to the floor. You can keep your left knee bent or reach your left leg straight forward, your choice. Starting with the right knee bent, take an inhale here, and exhale, straighten your leg as much as you can. You don't have to straighten the leg 100%, don't have to lock your knee, but reach up with your right heel. And then bend your right knee again. Let's do that 4 more times. Slowly straighten the right leg, reaching your heel up to the ceiling. And try to create tension here, pushing your thigh towards your hand, and then bend your right knee again. Inhale, reach your heel up to the ceiling. Keep the left leg active, reaching the left heel straight forward. Bend your knee 1 more time. This time, as you reach your heel up to the ceiling, hold there. And pull your leg closer to your chest. Maybe it's not going to move at all, but create that tension by pulling the leg towards you, and you are pushing your leg away from you at the same time. Opposite forces. Keep softening the shoulders down to the floor. And the right toes pointing towards your face so your foot is flexed. Now bend your left knee. Place the left foot on the floor. Let go of the thigh on the right leg. Bend your knee and place the right ankle on top of the left knee. You can reach through for reclined pigeon. Hold behind the left thigh or in front of the left shin. Keep your shoulders soft, deep, slow breaths. Flex both of your feet. Keep trying to drive your right knee forward as well so you get a little more rotation on the right leg. Let go of your left leg, place the sole of your left foot on the floor. Now cross your legs all the way so your inner thighs are touching. Open the arms to the sides in cactus shape. Take a deep inhale first. And with the exhale, lower the legs all the way to the left. You can readjust your hips as much as you need to. Finding that rotation right on the upper back. Both shoulders still connected with the floor. And breathe. Can you slowly untwist, come back to the center. Uncross your legs, hug both knees into your chest one more time. Round again, forehead to your knees. Keep your left knee, place your right foot on the floor first. And the right leg can be bent or you can straighten the right leg, wherever works best for you. Interlace your fingers behind your left thigh. Start with your left knee bent, soften the shoulders down to the floor. And then inhale, reach your left heel up to the ceiling. And then bend your left knee. Keep pulling the behind the thigh with your hands towards your chest. And then straighten. So 4 more times. Bend your left knee. Inhale, straight your left leg. Exhale, bend it. Inhale, bend, straighten your left leg again, reach up. Bend one more time. This time as you straighten your left leg, and you don't have to lock your knee, just as much as you can. And start reaching the leg forward, but pull the leg towards you at the same time. Create the opposite tension. Irradiating tension with your muscles, working in different directions. Reaching with your heel as much as you can with both legs. Left heel reaching up, right heel reaching straight forward. Small bend on the right knee, sole of the right foot on the floor. Let go of the left thigh and place the left ankle on top of the right knee. Reach through for reclined pigeon, holding behind the thigh or in front of the shin. Shoulders soft, breath slow and even. Let go of your right shin. Place the right foot on the floor. Then you can cross the legs all the way so the knees are close together. Open the arms into cactus. Take a deep breath first. And with your exhale, you can bring the legs all the way to the right. Firm your left shoulder down to the floor. Readjust the hips slightly to the left so the hips are stacked, spine long. Try to soften a little through the hips, through the sides of the waist. You can slowly untwist, readjust the hips, uncross the legs, bring the legs towards your chest for Apanasana one more time. And now you can rock back and forth a few times through the whole length of your spine, maybe 3 times. So feel from your sacrum all the way to your shoulders. Get some momentum. The third time you can come into seated, cross your shins, plant your hands in front of your legs, and walk back into a tabletop position. 3 rounds of cat and cow at your own pace. Hands under the shoulders, spread your fingers wide. And you can have your toes tucked under or untucked, whatever works best for you. Try to keep your arms straight, spinning the triceps back. And after the third time, you can bring your spine back to neutral. Tuck your toes under, walk your hands slightly forward, and start with your knees bent, coming to your first downward facing dog. And work on reaching the hips as far back as you can. Going for length from the wrist to your hips. Spin the triceps down, giving more space between your shoulders and your neck. Bring the chin closer to the chest. Bring the gaze towards your navel. If you want to pedal your feet a few times, you're welcome to do so. Or if you want to work more on stillness, you can reach the buff heels down to the floor, lengthening the back of your legs. And look to your feet. If you can see your heels, try to hide your heels behind your ankles. So the rotation of the hip socket's neutral. Keep sending the breath to the side of your waist. If I slowly inhale, bring forward into plank pose, shoulders over your wrists. And from here, you have the option to set your knees down or keep your knees off the floor, your choice. Bring your shoulders forward, come halfway down into chaturanga and hold for a breath. With an inhale, push up into plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. 2 more like that with the breath. Inhale, come forward into plank pose, knees up or down. Chaturanga, halfway down. Keep the elbows touching the sides of your rib cage. Inhale, push up into plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. One more time, plank pose, inhale. Exhale, chaturanga, keep the elbows in. Inhale, push up into plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 slow breaths here. And the heels may or may not touch on the floor. Just keep reaching them down. Take 1 deep breath. Reach your right leg up. Parallel with the floor, going for length. Reaching with your heel. Toes pointing down to the floor. Exhale, bring your knee into your nose. Round your back. Shoulders over the wrists again. Inhale, reach back. Move your hips away from the shoulders. Exhale, knee to your nose. Inhale again, reach back, 3-legged dog. Exhale as low as you can. You place your right foot in between your hands. Try to move in slow motion here. And step 1 or 2 inches the right foot to the right, so your stance a little bit wider. Set your left knee down to the floor. Reach your hands up to the ceiling for Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Point your tailbone down to the floor. Avoid dumping on the lower back here. The navel drawing in and up. Grow through the sides of your waist. Reach a little more with your back ribs. And you can keep your hands apart. Other options to interlace your fingers, reaching up with your index finger. Keep firming the heel towards the knee towards the heel. Stay for another deep inhale, reach a little higher. Exhale, both hands down to the floor. Moving to half splits, Ardha Hanumanam. You can readjust the back knee so the hips above the knee. Flex your right foot, drive your right heel down to the floor. You can keep a small bend on the right knee to protect the connective tissue there. Work on lengthening the sides of your waist. Now walk both hands outside the right leg to get a little deeper into your right bend. Both hands this way here, the other way. Yes. Breathe to the left side of your waist now. 2 more deep, slow breaths here. Bring your hands back, square your right foot, bend your right knee, tuck your left toes under, pick your left knee off the floor, plant your left palm, reach your right hand up to the ceiling. Twisting from the upper back again. And lengthening from the left heel. As you reach the left heel back, keep moving the top of your chest forward, reaching on the same direction as the crown of your head. And notice if you're still connected to the Ujjayi Pranayama. Slow, even, deep breaths. Exhale, right hand down to the floor, step back into plank. Move your shoulders forward again, come halfway down and hold. From here, we will slowly lower all the way down to the floor. Reach your hands back, interlace your hands behind your back, and press the tops of your feet down to the floor, all toes touching down to the floor. Inhale, lift your chest off the floor, roll the shoulders back, and maybe reach your hands away from your hips. If your shoulders are tight here, it's okay to keep a small bend on the elbows to give you more space. If you have wide shoulders, again, breathing all the way to the top of your chest. Exhale, slowly lower down. Release your hands. Place the hands next to your rib cage. Come up into Cobra one time. And keep the neck aligned with the rest of the spine. Exhale, lower down. With this next inhale, you can come into Cobra one more time or to upper facing dog, picking your knees off the floor, straighten the arms. Roll the shoulders back, chest going through. And with the exhale, downward facing dog. Again, still pushing evenly with both hands. Bring the weight to the inside of your palms, the base of your thumb and your index finger. With your next inhale, raise your left leg. Through the inner thighs so the left toes are pointing down. Exhale, bring your knee into your nose, shoulders over your wrists. Inhale, reach back, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to your nose, hollow your chest here, spread your shoulder blades wide. Inhale, three-legged dog one more time. And as slow as you can, take your time here, bring the knee into your nose, squeeze your left thigh towards your chest as much as you can, create space between the floor and your chest, left foot in between your hands. And if you need, you can move the left foot 1 or 2 inches to the left again, right knee down to the floor. Inhale, low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Create that action with the left foot drawing down and back towards your right knee and vice versa. So you feel the back of your left leg engaging, the front of your right leg engaging. Hands apart or fingers interlaced, your choice. Stay for one more deep breath. With your exhale, square your left foot with your hands, place your hands down, move into half splits. You can slide your left foot forward or slide your right knee back to readjust the distance. Again, work on lengthening the upper back. Avoid rounding here so you can get deeper into your hamstring. Again, you can keep the small bend on the left knee to protect the knee, driving the left heel down. Walk both of your hands outside the left leg. Get a little more into the outer glute and the IT band on your left leg. Send a deep breath to the right side of your waist. Walk your hands back through center. Tuck your right toes under, right knee off the floor. Plant your right palm and reach your left hand up to the ceiling. The energy going through the right leg. Try to notice your right thigh lifting up away from the floor, squeezing your quad muscles, growing through the sides of your waist evenly again, reaching with the top of your sternum bone. Creating space for the prana to flow evenly through the entire body. Use your exhale to plant your left palm down to the floor. Step back into plank pose. Hold this plank here. And then one arm at a time, place your forearms down to the floor, to forearm plank. Bring your palms together. Push your palms together. And try to keep your feet together here. Roll to the outer edge of your left foot. Reach your right arm up to the ceiling and plant your left palm down to the floor. So yeah, there you go. Now I'm going to try to do a side bend here. Flip your right palm forward, reach your arm overhead, and try to raise your hips a little higher away from the floor, pointing your left fingers down to the floor. Try to keep your left arm as straight as you can. So squeeze your quads here. Feel the expansion on the right side of your waist. Now reach your right arm up to the ceiling again. Exhale, right hand down to the floor. Forearm plank again, palms together. Hold here for a breath. Spread your shoulder blades wide on your back again. Now roll to the outer edge of your right foot. Reach your left hand up to the ceiling and plant your right palm down to the floor. Keep both feet flexed. Squeeze your quads, flip your palm forward, reach the arm overhead. And again, try to raise your hips a little higher. Find a little more expansion on the left side of your waist this time. Point your left fingertips down to the floor. Reach your left hand up to the ceiling again. Set it down to the floor. Forearm plank. Keep reaching the heels back here, quads firm. And press your forearms down to the floor as much as you can. Hollow your chest slightly. And walk your feet forward into dolphin pose. Let's hold dolphin here for 5 breaths. A strong dolphin. Push your heels down. And imagine you are reaching your chest towards the front of your thighs. Keep your forearms actively pressing down to the floor as if you're trying to create a ding into your mat that creates more stability on your shoulders. Two more deep, slow breaths. Walk back into forearm plank. One arm at a time, come back into plank pose, both arms straight. And if you want to go through a vinyasa, you're welcome to, or just pull your hips back into downward facing dog. Let's take 5 deep, slow breaths in down dog again. Feel the breath going through the entire torso, all 4 corners, the sides of your belly, the rib cage in front, on the sides, the back ribs, the top of your chest. And sometimes you can even feel underneath the armpit if you take a really deep breath. With your next inhale, you look far in between your hands, raise your heels as high as you can away from the floor, bend your knees a lot, and you can either step or hop forward. With an inhale, lengthen, come halfway up, step your feet about as wide as your hips, and then put a small bend on your left knee, left hand down to the floor, right hand up to the ceiling. The left knee is bent, the right leg straight. Left hand right in the center of the chest. Try to move the right shoulder further back. And you can keep your right hand on your hip, opening the chest. Maybe wrap your arm behind your back. Or keep reaching the arm up to the ceiling. Take another inhale, create more space. Slowly untwist and switch. Place your right hand where your left hand is. Bend your right knee, left leg straight. Reach your left hand up to the ceiling. Keep working on creating more length with the inhales and maybe twisting a little deeper with the exhales, and then the arm can wrap behind the back again, or the hand on top of the hip. Breath slow, deep and even. Stay for one more deep breath. Slowly hands down to the floor. Fold forward. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway up. Bring your toes touching. Try to keep maybe 1 inch between your heels. Bend your knees deep. Sink your hips low. Come into Utkatasana, chair pose. The weight into your heels. You can keep your toes on the floor, but keep them lightly on the floor without gripping the mat with your toes. Roll the tailbone slightly down so you keep the natural curve on your lower back. And try to keep your arms as straight as you can here. You can open them a little wider. You can even reach them forward. if that's better for your shoulders. Keep working as well with the muscles of your arms, squeezing the triceps, shoulder blades going to the sides of your waist. 3 more slow breaths here. Maybe bend your knee a little deeper for this last breath. Take another deep inhale. And with your exhale, stand up, bring your hands to heart center for Samasthiti. Now let's keep moving. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, slowly fold forward. Bend your knees as much as you need. Inhale, lengthen halfway up. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms. You can step or jump back into Chaturanga, halfway down. With your knees up or down, your choice. And move into Cobra or Up Dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Get long again through the entire body, the back of your legs, the back of your torso. With an inhale, reach your right leg back. You can bend your knee, stack your hips. You can stay here if you'd like. You can flip the dog into wild thing. Breathe to the top of your chest. With your next inhale, three-legged dog again. Reach your right leg back. Exhale, knee to your nose, shoulders over your wrists, and hold here. Hold this really strong. So your triceps spin back. Bring your thigh closer to your chest. And from here, very lightly, right foot steps in between your hands. Lengthen, reaching the chest forward. With a deep inhale, reach up into crescent pose. And notice the position of your pelvis again. That's neutral. Lift the front of your hips up. It helps a little if you put a small bend on your left knee. And once you get your pelvis neutral without tilting forward, reach the left heel as far back as you can. Let's take 3 more slow breaths. Keep reaching your arms. Now hinge your torso forward. Hover the torso over your right thigh, Now you can get a little longer with the left leg. Reach the left heel a little further back. Always lengthening the sides of your waist, create more space for your breath. Place your hands down into the floor, moving to standing splits. Lift your left leg high. And you can hold your right ankle with your right hand, keep your left hand on the floor. If you want to work on the balance, both hands holding your ankle. Now step your left foot next to your right. With an inhale, lengthen, come halfway up. Exhale, fold forward. Bend your knees, sink your hips low into chair pose, Utkatasana. And start squatting down, reaching your arms. Raise your heels off the floor. Hands to heart center. To the toe stand. Grow tall again, reaching with your chest up to the ceiling. Now bring the hands next to your feet. Fold your torso over your legs. And try to pick yourself up here. Maybe your feet are not going to come off the floor. Maybe you can pick yourself for a second and then set your foot down to the floor again. Squeeze your thighs to your chest as much as you can. Push down, squeeze the triceps back. And it helps a little if you move your shoulders forward to counterbalance the weight of your legs. If you can hold here for a few breaths, you can stay. Or just play on giving small hops. And then place it down. Now from here, you can either step or slowly you can hover your feet back into Chaturanga. and move through your upper facing dog. Inhale, exhale, downward facing dog. Lengthen the breath again. With your inhale, left leg reaches straight back. Bend your knee, stack your hips. You can stay right here. If you'd like to take wild thing, you can flip the dog. Bring the left hand back, raise your hips, open up the shoulders and the chest. Inhale, come back into three-legged dog. With an exhale, bring your left knee into your nose. Squeeze it in. And then lightly left foot in between your hands. Lengthen, reaching the chest forward. With an inhale, sweep your arms forward and up into crescent pose. Drag the tailbone down to the floor. Try to release the tension on the left toes. Drive down the right heel towards the floor. Bend your left knee a little deeper. 3 more deep, slow breaths. Reach your arms a little more. So maybe you feel this stretch going all the way down to your hips as you reach your arms up. Lean slightly forward, hover over your left thigh. 3 more slow breaths here. Now lengthen the right leg a little more. Once the torso is going forward, you have a straight line, so it is easier to get a little more energy going through the right leg. Reach with your right heel. Hands down to the floor. Moving to standing splits. Raise the right leg. And you can keep your fingers on blocks or on the floor. If you want to work on balance, left hand onto your ankle or both hands holding the ankle. Try to release the crown of the head down to the floor. Stay connected to the sound of the breath. Now bring your right foot next to your left. Uttanasana, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen, come halfway up. Exhale, fold again. Bend your knees, sink your hips low, Utkatasana, chair pose. Start squatting down again towards the floor. Bring your hands to heart center, toes stand. So we'll do the Lolasana again. This time we're going to do 2 versions here. I'm going to bring the blocks. If you have blocks at home, you can use them. So place your hands down. And for this one, come down into your knees. Untuck your toes. Have your hands down on the floor. So you'll push yourself up, but keep your toes on the floor. And bring the thighs close to your chest. Try to squeeze your thighs a little more. And then set it down. You can relax the arms again. Make some circles with your wrists. This is a really strong pose. A lot of core strength. Again, come up. Keep your left toes on the floor. And pick your right foot off the floor. And keep scooping the belly in. So you can try to bring the right quads a little closer to your chest. And then set it down. Again, you can come to the tips of your fingers again. Take a deep breath. Place your hands down on the floor again. And spin the triceps back here. That helps to create more lift. And start hugging the navel in even before you come up. Again, push down. Move your shoulders slightly forward. This time the right toes down. Lift your left toes off the floor. And then set it down. This time you can try to pick both feet off the floor. With the blocks, it gives a little more space between the floor and your chest. So you can round a little more, create a little more lift. So press yourself up again, and don't worry if both feet don't come off the floor. You can maybe just pick them off the floor for 1 second. Sometimes if you bend your elbows slightly as well, it helps you a little. And your shoulders are slightly in front of your wrists. And then you can set it down. Take a couple of breaths. And now, if you want, you can try to pick yourself up, and from there, jump your legs back into Chaturanga Dandasana. With or without the blocks. Pick yourself up, and then make your way back. If you have to step back, it's okay. Don't worry about it. You can do your vinyasa with the blocks as well. It's fine. Set the blocks to the sides. Nice, Giovanni. Inhale, reach your right leg back again. Point your right toes down, knee to your nose. Inhale, reach back one more time. Exhale, knee to your nose. Inhale, reach back. Exhale, right foot in between your hands. Place your left heel to the side, left foot flat on the floor, circle into Warrior Two. Engage the inner thighs towards each other. That's one thing I like to think a lot when I'm doing this. If I'm bringing the heels close to each other, it creates that rebound as if you're bouncing a basketball down to the floor. You don't want to yell your weight down to the floor, but bring the energy up. When you push your heels towards each other, instead of going down towards the floor, you feel the energy going up through your legs, through your torso, to the crown of your head. Now reach forward. You can place your right elbow on top of your thigh, or hand down to the block or to the floor, left hand up. And you can either reach the hand over your head. If it is okay for your shoulders, you can take into a half bind or a full bind. Any of those options. Do whatever it feels good for you today. And if you did this yesterday or before yesterday, if you were reaching the hand over the head, maybe try to bind today. Try to change it up a little bit. Keep peeling the chest up to the ceiling. Find that small rotation with the torso. If you have the bind, let go of it. Come back into extended side angle pose. Now walk your left foot slightly forward. We're going to move into half moon pose. And then walk the right hand outside the right pinky toe. You can use a block at home if you have one, or keep your fingertips on the floor. Lift your left leg off the floor. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. Two variations here. You can stay right here, doing what Javon's doing, or you bend your back knee and grab your ankle with your left hand for the Chapasana variation. And keep trying to stack your shoulders if you're holding your ankle. If you want to challenge your balance, keep the gaze steady and pick your right fingertips off the floor. You can hover right there. Maybe the hand comes in front of your chest. Two more deep, slow breaths. Keep the gaze and the breath steady and ease. Let go of the foot. If you're holding, come back into half moon pose. From here, you'll make your way back into Warrior Two as slow as you can. Bend your standing leg. Step back into the Warrior Two stance. Reach your arms wide. Can't speak English today. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, slowly circle your hands down to the floor. Runner's lunge. Walk your right foot outside your right hand. into a lizard. Plant your palms as wide as your shoulders. Pick your right foot off the floor. Keep your left knee up. There you go. And then lift your right foot off the floor, driving your knee to your right triceps. You can stay right here, or you bend your elbows into chaturanga and take the arm balance to Ekapada Kundiniasana B, hurdle pose. And step or jump back, with or without a vinyasa, downward facing dog. You're not even sweating. Oh yeah, she's sweating a little. Yeah. Inhale, raise your left leg back. Exhale, knee to your nose. Inhale, reach back, three-leg dog. Exhale, bring your knee to your nose. One more time. Inhale, reach. Exhale, left foot in between your hands. Right heel flat on the floor. Circle into warrior two. First thing, the actions with the legs. Weight on the heels. Firm your inner thighs. Lift the front of your hips up. And square your shoulders with the long side of your mat. You can soften the gaze over your left hand and keep connected to the breath. Reach forward, left elbow on top of your left thigh, or your hand reaches down to the floor or to a block. Flip your right palm forward, you can reach overhead. Or if you did the half bind or full bind on the first side, you're welcome to do on this one as well. Pick one of those options. Keep driving the left heel down. And notice if you are dumping the weight of your torso on top of your left quads. Mainly if you have the bind, see if you can create a little lift off the left side of your waist away from your left thigh. And breathe. Try to bring your right shoulder a little further back. If you have the bind, you can let go of it. Place your hand down, reach right hand up. Give a small step with your right foot forward. Walk your left hand outside your left pinky toe, moving to half moon pose, Ardha Chandrasana. You can stay on the classic version of Ardha Chandrasana, or bend your right knee, grab your foot for Chapasana, grab your ankle. If you want to challenge your balance again, hover your left fingertips away from the floor. But keep opening the chest. Sometimes when we are hovering the hand, we tend to lower the right shoulder down. That helps us with the balance. But here we are still trying to stack the shoulders on top of each other. Let go of your foot. Come back into half moon. It's okay if you need a break. We all do. And as slow as you can, come back into warrior two with control. Lengthen again. Deep inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, circle your hands down. Now I see she's sweating. The sweat is going. And then walk your left foot outside your left hand. Plant your palms. Spread your fingers wide. Keep your left knee connected to your left triceps. Pick your left foot off the floor. You can stay right here. If you want to take deeper, bend your elbows. Stay there. Or if you want to take a little further, go for the arm balance. Hold for a bit, and then make your way into your vinyasa, with or without the vinyasa. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Come forward into plank pose. Forearms down to the floor. Lower your hips down into Sphinx pose. We'll do a little core work here to notice the actions of the legs when we go into an inversion. So you will keep your feet, the tops of your feet down to the floor, like in upper facing dog, this way. So try to touch the pinky toe down to the floor. And you can even bring the legs a little closer together, but roll your heels slightly to the sides. And then firm your forearms down to the floor. And before you do anything here, squeeze your quads as much as you can and try to tilt the pelvis back, almost like you're trying to pick your belly away from the floor. Take a deep inhale here. And as you exhale, lift your hips off the floor into a forearm plank and the tops of the feet are on the floor. So the quads are on fire, engaging the quads, using your Uddiyana Bandha, the belly drawing in and up, shoulder blades wide on the back. Slowly set it down, as slow as you can. Back into Sphinx pose, reach the chest up and forward. Take an inhale, push the tops of the feet on the floor, engage your quads, tilt your pelvis back again so you're pointing your tailbone to your heels, form all the muscles, inhale, raise your hips up, push the forearms down, shoulder blades broad in the back. So the legs are really active here when you go into headstand or any other inversion. The legs should be just as engaged as your core. They are part of your core during those poses. And then slowly set it down, Sphinx pose. Reach the chest up and forward. One more time. Engage your quads before you come up. Point your tailbone towards your heels. Try to pick your belly off the floor. And then inhale, raise your hips up. Let's hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower down. Sphinx pose. Now tuck your toes under. Come into forearm plank. One arm at a time, plank pose. And then you can pick your hips back into downward facing dog. No vinyasa. Place your knees down to the floor. And you can use a wall at home if you'd like to go into an inversion. Headstand, handstand, forearm balance. If you want to take a break, you can bring your legs up the wall. Any of those options you'd like to. Okay, and if you go upside down, think about the action of the legs on that last exercise we did with the forearm plank, okay? Have about a minute and a half. Take your time. You wanna? Right here. Take your time. Stay connected to your breath. Once you had enough, no rush. Take your time at home. We all meet in child's pose. If you're still doing your inversions at home, you can slowly come down. If you move to the wall, make your way back into your mat. The breath slow and even. Start reaching your hands forward again. Spread your fingers. Tuck your toes. Come back into downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your right leg. Moving to pigeon here, bring your knee in. Bring your right foot towards your left hand, right knee behind the right hand. You can slide your left knee as far back as you need to. You can keep here with your arms straight, or you can take as deep as your body allows you to go. Maybe your forearms touch the floor, or you can fold all the way over the right leg. You can rest your forehead on a block, a pillow, a blanket. Try to stay as soft as you can, holding as little of effort as possible. Always using the exhales to release tension, release anything that you don't need. You can start walking your hands back underneath your shoulders. Take your toes under, pick your left knee off the floor, reach back into a three-legged dog. You can keep your knee bent and make a few circles from the hip socket. You can circle counterclockwise a few times and then switch in the opposite direction. When I'm upside down like this, I always get confused with what is clockwise and counterclockwise. So I just do it either way. And then inhale, reach your left leg back. Bring your knee in, take into pigeon pose on the left side. You can readjust the distance again, slide your right knee a little further back. Use any props if you need to for your elbows. You can rest your forehead on a prop as well. Take any amount. You don't have to go too deep here to feel it. Or maybe you do. Do what your body asks for. Trying to release the effort on the muscles around the hips. And bring your hands back under your shoulders. You can take your right toes under. Take your time, no rush. Pick your right knee off the floor, reach back. And with your leg straight or your knee bent, you can circle the leg a few times, one direction, and then switch to the other direction. Set your foot back into downward facing dog, last down dog. Try to get really long here again. Push the heels down, pushing the floor away from you, triceps spinning down to the floor. Looking between your hands, we'll make our way into our back now. You can either step or jump through, cross your shins, roll down to your back. As you lie down, hug your knees in. Round your back slightly. Bring your forehead to your knees. If you'd like, you can take it into happy baby. Hold the outer edges of your feet. You can rock side to side, feeling both sides of your back ribs on the floor. And if you want, you can straighten your leg, pull the other foot down so the thigh gets a little closer. And then you can switch back and forth a few times. Take your time, you can let go of your feet. Release your legs down to the floor. Get your legs a little wider. Open the arms wider as well, palms facing up. If you have a wall at home, you'd like to bring the legs up the wall. Any variation of Shavasana you'd like to take your time to set it up. You can allow the breath to come back to normal, flowing in and out without any effort. Keep the attention with the breath without controlling it. Try to move the shoulders further away from the ears, shoulder blades closer in, broaden your chest. Chin closer to the chest as well, lengthen the back of your neck. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Hold your breath on top. You can open your mouth and let it go. Final pose, Shavasana. You can stay here for as long as you'd like to. I'd like to thank you again for joining us on Down Yoga. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, press the thumbs up, and we'll see you guys next time. Namaste.